Today I want to talk about the Andes people adaptation to arsenic. Talk about the wonders of evolution and how exciting and also interesting of how it became to be. I know, I'm sorry I sometimes take a few pause there for a minute because, well, personally, I love this stuff so much to talk about with all of you, and, well, sometimes I'm just gonna have to think on the spot, and I'm not gonna lie to my audience. I sometimes use notes to write down what I have to say because, well, sometimes I can be a bit scatterbrained, and yes, I know I sometimes keep a notebook to make sure that I know what to say because, well, I don't have the whole thing memorized on the top of my head. So, in any case, yeah, there's no shame in that, but I just want to let everyone know that, and just want you know that nobody's perfect, and, well, I like to share what I know with all you to keep you from, well, to starve off some boredom. So, in any case, let's get to it. In South America, high up in the Andes Mountains of Argentina, for thousands of years, in some regions of the Andes, people have been exposed to high levels of arsenic. It's usually a naturally occurring phenomenon that happens when arsenic in volcanic bedrock is released into the groundwater. The reason behind this is due to a genetic variant in the population. It's called AS3MT, a nucleotide variant on chromosome 10. It usually has the highest frequencies in the Peruvians, Native Americans, Eastern Asia, and Vietnam. Its frequencies increase with more exposures over generations over time. Now, what this gene variant does is it allows to anyone who has it to metabolize arsenic more efficiently, providing a degree of resistance to the toxic element commonly found in their water supply and the Andes Mountain due to the region's landscape and geology. This adaptation occurs when the population is living in an environment with high levels of the element itself, arsenic, for generations. This natural selection process in the population of the Andes happened there for like quite a while. The population lived there for like 3 to 7 or 10,000 years. Evolution usually takes a long time for it to occur, for something like many other adaptations, which I'm going to explain later in this video. Phylogenetic analysis has suggested that horizontal gene transference between bacteria and eukaryotes may be the likely reason for increased tolerance to arsenic during evolution. Now, what does all of this mean exactly? Well, to elucidate, the gene that protects the people from arsenic poisoning has developed due to natural selection and the environment, because sometimes this is just an idea, but they work in conjunction with one another. And also, remember when I said that arsenic tolerance, tolerance to arsenic during evolution? Well, just to let you all know, it only made the people resistant to arsenic poisoning, not immune. It can only reduce the harmful effects thanks to natural selection and selective pressure. Although they can still feel it, it doesn't really harm them as much. due to the gene variant present within the population. And the one that drove the evolution of the Andes people was the toxic chemicals being the driver. Now, as I mentioned before, the similar cases of natural selection taking place around the world are, for examples, Africa being malaria being the driver for, or being susceptible to, sorry, lost my train of thought there. Well, to be more frank, it's kind of like a selective pressure in Africa, malaria. Certain people have the gene variant for malaria resistance, which makes them immune to it. Well, it only offers a heterozygote advantage. If two of them have the variant and married, the odds are is that they will have a sickle cell anemia, which personally, I don't know if it's a good trade-off. Good for malaria, but not good if it means for your children. But in any case, another example is in Tibet, when the Tibetans have, for thousands of years, have a gene that allows them to survive at high altitudes with no ill effects. And that's due to decreased reliance on oxygen to synthesize it more. And apparently, well, sometimes it increases the women's fertility in Tibet due to this adaptation. And yes, it's like the things you heard about Tibet from TV shows and stuff, but take it with a grain of salt because, well, some media likes to exaggerate things most of the time. Well, in any case, last but not least, there's lactase persistence. Now, unfortunately for me, I'm lactose intolerant, but that doesn't stop me from enjoying milk. Lactase persistence was kind of selected for thousands of years in Europe due to its nutrients and survival advantage for Europeans. Over time, it became dominant, usually more common in Europeans, and with certain areas like in Central Asia and certain places like Eastern Africa. Because sometimes beneficial mutations are usually dominant and not recessive, except for the case of CCR5 delta 32, which is the gene variant or nucleotide haplotype or something that confers resistance to HIV in Europeans. Most of them are heterozygote advantage, but only the 1% are homozygous for it. But in any case, yeah, this podcast was to show and tell everyone about how natural selection can drive certain adaptations in people and how it makes the world a little bit more complex, exciting, and a little bit more interesting than we may have previously thought. Thank you, everyone. And bottom line, I just want to say thank you for all you for paying attention. And I will be telling you, if anyone who's interested in my Facebook or YouTube, please leave down a comment in my comment selection below. Thank you, and I hope you have a great day. Don't forget to follow me and shout out to any other podcaster out there who may be interested in my channel.